Enforcement will come to order. The purpose of this hearing is to allow members to examine the travel patterns of individuals linked to foreign terrorist organizations and how these individuals make their way to our nation's borders. Our second witness, Mr. Timothy Healy, serves as the Director of National Security for Buchanan and Edwards, an award-winning technology leader creating transformative solutions for the government. In Mr. Healy's prior roles, he served as the Director of the FBI's Terrorist Screening Center, where he led efforts to consolidate and coordinate the U.S. government's approach to terrorism screening and facilitate the sharing of terrorism information that protects the nation and our foreign partners while safeguarding civil liberties. In addition, Mr. Healy has served as president of ICON LLC, a company focused on serving the Department of Defense, Department of Homeland Security, federal and state law enforcement, and intelligence communities. Thank you for your service. Chair now recognizes Mr. Healy for his opening statement of 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. On January 17th, Kevin Brock, a retired assistant director, former head of the FBI Intelligence Division, convened a group of former senior FBI executives to draft a letter to Congress expressing our deep concern about the current threat that poses unprecedented danger to the U.S. This group of FBI leaders was notably diverse. Their professional backgrounds encompassed a wider range of expertise within the FBI. The threat we faced was equally varied, spanning the full spectrum of the FBI investigations. The threat was new and unfamiliar. Our concern was that military-aged men from across the globe, many in countries and regions hostile to the U.S., were arriving on our soils by the thousands, not by disembarking from a ship or parachuting from a plane, but by crossing the border on foot, a border widely recognized around the world as largely unprotected and easily accessible. This group included individuals apprehended by the border officials potentially released into the country, along with an alarming number of gotaways, which everyone has spoken about. Gotaways from fiscal year 2021 to 2024 totaled over 2 million. Considering such a daunting and unprecedented level of penetration of our borders, it's reasonable to assess that the country's national security has been dramatically diminished. In 2021, the demographics of those crossing the border began to shift. The number of young men traveling alone around the world drastically increased. Alarmingly, a significant number of them were found on the terrorist watch list or for countries from state-sponsored terrorism. From 2021 to 2023, over 7,924,000 encounters nationwide. Since July of 2024, more than 2,427,000, bringing the total to 10,351,000. These unprecedented numbers have shattered all expectations, pushing our country's screening capabilities to the breaking point and exposing vulnerabilities at a scale once never imagined. Given the sheer volume, it seems likely that effectively screening terrorists against the terrorist watch list has become an incredible challenge, creating serious concerns for our national security. As a former director of the TSC, my foremost concern was encounters within the U.S. In my experience, numbers mattered. 19 al-Qaeda terrorists on 4 commercial jets fundamentally altered our world. In that landscape, a single terrorist act has the potential to impact millions of lives. I witnessed it firsthand, the potential of devastating, even of a lone terrorist that could cause. Consider the events of Christmas Day on 2009 when the underwear bomber attempted to detonate explosions on Northwest Flight 253, or on May 1st, 2010, when Faisal Shahzad tried to ignite a bomb in Times Square. Both events, driven by actions of just 2 individuals, had the potential to cause catastrophic consequences for thousands. Numbers matter. Whether it's 19 or just 1, the potential consequences can be devastating. Between 2017 and 2020, 14 individuals on the terrorist watch list were apprehended by Border Patrol between points of entry. This is alarming as the apprehensions at these locations indicate that a suspected terrorist is actively trying to avoid detection. However, the situation has grown more urgent. From 2021 to 2024, 380 individuals on the watch list were apprehended between points of entry, an increase of 2,614%. The numbers underscore the escalating scale of the threat. To add to this, between 2021 and 2024, borders officials on the southwest border encountered individuals on the terrorist watch list from 36 different countries. The reality is compounded by the 2 million gotaways who evaded capture. It would be crazy to assume that none of these individuals were on the watch list. In fact, it's highly likely that watch-listed individuals would have a stronger motivation to avoid detection, making it impossible to know how many actually crossed undetected. These facts paint a stark picture of the unprecedented challenge we face. The numbers do just matter. they tell us how precarious our current situation really is. In 2024, Director Ray testified that he was particularly concerned about the scores of potential terrorists who had entered the country because they weren't on the watch list initially, but the DHS had released them. He explained that in many cases, the FBI didn't have enough information to put them on the watch list. It was only after receiving new intelligence from overseas that they identified these individuals that should have been watch listed. Director Ray is right to be concerned. The new and unprecedented threat demands immediate and decisive action. Our borders must be secure, and those already in the country illegally must be identified, vetted, and if necessary, watch listed. We must act swiftly and comprehensively to close the gap that adversaries may seek to exploit. The stakes couldn't be higher. The need for vigilance, dedication, and immediate action is never more critical. Thank you.